it in, pass it to no one, unless we friends. The highest cloud up is where I like to put my feet at. If I ain't couch locked, that's where I be at. The whole bird club is in the sky, that's where we at. We only seem to congregate in spots where the weed at. Splashing in the hydro is deep to where my knees at. When I need more, I hit my nigga, see where he at. When I get more, that's when I relax. Still ain't been sober, still don't want to relapse. Splashing around in the dro to my kneecap. Loud we contained in jars like me at. I'll be higher than the mountains where niggas ski at. No matter where I'm is, I can find where weed at. I wake up in the morning, put some smoke in the air. Crack another blunt and break some weed up and dump it near. I smoke all the time like salmon do. Keep more hydro than they swam through. I put a lot of dank up as tetra residues. Two blunt Marley loves his vegetables. They say rolling up weed is all I ever do. I say it ain't, bruh. I enjoy the edibles. I'm just smoking. Smoking on my, smoking on my, smoking on my. I'm just smoking. Smoking on mine, smoking on mine, smoking on mine. I'm just smoking. Smoking on mine, smoking on mine, smoking on mine. I'm just smoking. Smoking on mine, smoking on mine, smoking on mine. I'm just smoking. Hitting dank hard, got my lungs convulsing. I'm still hitting on the blunt cause it's awesome. I be flying all around like crows and ravens. If I find a seed in my bag, those I'm saving. Helicopter up, I get in my lift on. Cracking me a blunt and hydroponics get dripped on. Sky parkour, find a cloud I can flip on. Keep going up, find a planet I can get on. Just smoking. Smoking on my, smoking on my, smoking on my. I'm just smoking. Smoking on my, smoking on my, smoking on mine. I'm just smoking. Smoking on mine, smoking on mine, smoking on mine. I'm just smoking. Smoking on mine, smoking on mine, smoking on mine. I'm just smoking. I stay with weed lit every time that you see me. Keep the best dank like I got a weed genie. Flame on fire, it got hella terps in it. Keep a switch of sweet that always works with it. Blunt at the blunt, get turned into smoke. It took this one puff to learn how to float. Now when it comes to rolling blunts, I'm the GOAT. If I'm someone that's smoking like me, let me know. Rolling like a dude, I should have arthritis. What I put my blunts through, they end up the tightest. Hitting on my weed keeps me high as a bird. All day long, spin rolling up earth. Keep a couple Dutches and keep a couple swishers. Break them both down, but the roll-up's different. To be in the air, I be up, hang gliding. Bird Club Stony, we be up, cloud sliding. Smoking till it's gone, then grab a new bag.
This is rolling up with 2 Blood Barley. It is a certified pothead.
That's too bad. Ben told your niggas I just wanna do that. Roll with Louisville and roll.
Smoke it up.
I can zoom at. To spend my day chilling where the moon at. End up couch lock, can get my afternoon back.
Smoking on one of my evening spliffs and shit. What's good with you, Cam? Half today, yeah, I grabbed that yesterday. Some fire flame and shit. see which one we're gonna roll up today. Wiz had told me about some zigzags that was on the market and shit. Some zigzag leaves. Finally found them. Well, found this one, this straight up one. So we gonna be doing a review on these and shit. Let me show you my weed I got.
Hydro smoke like I'm standing in the rain. Put a cloud in the air so I can float around on it. Float around on it. Float around on it. Put a cloud on it. Float around on it. Float around on it. Put a cloud in the air so I can float around on it. Float around on it.
I said it's not going to zoom in, bro.
Put a cloud in the air so I can float around on it.
It is some flame though.
Float around on it.
Still hook up my zoom in camera real fast. I started to write. We'll probably finish that. Cam, I need beats too, so we can start. Now, finish working on smoking on Cam Part 2.
I put a bunch of weed in the air, man. I'm in the sky, floating like an airplane. Open the blunt, everything they going near. Flame the way I'm twisting up my fingers, look like a gang. Hella smoke, looking just like a mackerel. Push the sweets open and get smeared with dab. Start my blaze, hella blunts, hella weed. This is just the first phase.
I got weed.
In the roll with that shit up. I got weed. In the roll with that shit up. I got weed. In roll with that shit up. I got weed.
The other day when we was on, we watched the 1950s joint and shit. What's that for?
Non-stop rolling up, I'm always twisting weed, smoking all day to get as high as I can be. Don't stop for coughing, I puff right through it. Hydroponics, exhaling fluid, smoke hella thick. I just put more in it though. One blunt lit, roll one more with it though. Extra high THC in my buds. Hoovers can't smoke, my position won't budge. I got weed. In the road with that shit up. I got weed. In the road with that shit up.
Alright, BC, we about to jump into and then writing this joint and shit.
I got weed.
We'll jump back into that album in a minute. And we'll probably figure out something else to do. Let's play this beat and shit. Try to knock this joint out real fast so we can slide on to what else we gonna do. We also about to roll up another spliff too real quick, bro. Excuse me. Buzz broke down in the itty bitty parts. Buzz broke down into itty bitty parts, and my bag empties out. That there break my heart. GMO chirps, present like a fart. We all loud, sound like a harp. Ducky in the middle, dabs on the outside. Floating through the sky with my wings spread out wide. All day long, I'm always high. Way in the air, and I do not lie. Bag gon' stink from the greenness in it. If I pass out, it's the dank that did it. Good all the way, I'm spaceship out. Blunt roll tight so my dank don't slip out. Well, that's the first verse of shit. We gonna jump into second verse to try to knock this out real fast. gonna start the second verse? Alright, hold on. That shit almost. It's a short beat and shit. Too much dank. I don't know what that looks like. Yo, if y'all got bars and shit y'all think y'all can put in here, y'all can toss them down there and if they make the song and shit, y'all get credits on the song and shit. Too much dank, I don't know what that look like. All day smoking, always in there with a good night. Lemonine terps are my favorite to absorb. Hit one nigga up. Tell him that I want more. Lemonine terps are my favorite to absorb. Hit my nigga up. Tell him that I want more. Puff, Chiba, like Sunny, and all of it kick. Whole box of blunts roll, all of them hit. Rolling up this next split. Much dank, I don't know what that look like. All day smoking, always end up with a good night. Need terps. My nigga tell him that I want more. Puffin' Chiba like Sunny and it all kick. Whole box of blunts rolled up and they all hit. Smoke in the air. Always put me on lax. That's where I think I just finished this joint, bro. How we gonna see? Broke down in the itty bitty part. If my bag empties out, that they break my heart. Jigga mode church, present like a fart. We on loud, sound like a harp. Duckies on the inside, dabs on the outside. Flying through the sky with my wings spread out wide all day long. I'm always high way up in the air, and I cannot lie. Bag on stink from the greenness in it. If I pass it good all the way, I'm spaceship out. Blunts roll tight so my dink don't slip out. Too much dank, I don't know what that look like. All day smoking, always in the with a good night. 3-8 terps are my favorite to absorb. Hit my nigga up, tell him that I want more. Puff all kick, whole box of blunts rolled up, and they all hit. Smoke in the air, always put me on lax. If you look up in the sky, that's where I'm at. Alright, and that's the end of it. Alright, so we finished that joint. I don't really got a title for this joint, Lamar. Yeah, you don't come up with a title for these until I record. Trying to get this distillate out of this joint and shit. Yo, Lamar, I told you, bro, if you want to do an album with me, we can do an album together. We can do like a 4-song EP and shit. Yeah, we got that done. Let me jump into one of the songs on the album that just released and shit. Already figure out what we gonna do next. This is Niggas with Cannabis.
It's Cost Finger, baby. It's Cost Finger, baby.
Breaking down weed, putting it in the cigars. Green hella loud, singing like sitars. If you certified stony, you can get up high as we are. Blunt so big, gotta hold it like a guitar. Think that I got hella strong like rebar. I'm on hydroponics like water skis are. If I pull out a bud, I make all of it fit. Hoovers can't smoke, who you're arguing with. It's only loud weed that I be getting. If I roll a blunt up, it be hitting. Smoke it all the way down till I can't no longer breathe it in. I got weed plus dabs and keeps that I'm squeezing in. And I leave it in. Once I light a blunt, I smoke it all the way to the end. I don't exhale until I gotta breathe. I always keep blunts and a lot of weed.
It's Cost Finger, baby.
Hydroponics, I be swimming like I'm in the pool. Every time I roll one, I roll with number 2. That's just how my habit is. I just got the new bag, about to run through that too. Always on my upski, I stay rolling up weed. I start rolling one, it's automatically doubling. Can't do a single, dabs and weed commingle. I get high with a little help from my friends. Like Ringo, cracking open switches, but I do my games differently. Even blunts I fuck up on the road still hit for me. In between sessions, I slide in the split for me. Hella high, I'm riding on my new dippity. Just got my bag and I went through it quickly. Dabs in the blunt, got the weed all slippery. Smoke in the room like it's okay after this, that's the mystery.
It's Cos Finger Baby. It's Cos Finger Baby. Finger Baby.
All right, BC. I found something for us to watch and shit. We're gonna watch this anti-drug film called The Distant Drummer Flowers of Darkness. I ain't never seen this joint, so I don't know what we about to really get into, but we gonna give it a go through, bro. This is from Periscope Films, one of our favorite not-made spots to watch. Old school footage and shit, bro. What in the hair?
There are oases of comfort throughout the world. However, the earth offers few pleasures for most of its inhabitants. For his 10...
Hold on. Let's do it at 125.
Oases of comfort throughout the world. However, the earth offers few pleasures for most of its inhabitants. For his 10,000 years of grubbing a living off the planet, man has found life for the most part to be cruel. Heat, hunger, and cold. However, nature, almost as an afterthought, softened her terms. She sprinkled the harsh earth with a variety of plants, each offering momentary escape, a passport from reality.
That's natural growth of
Their
marijuana.
protective
That
effects
shit was
have been
big
known
as
since
fuck.
the time of the ancients.
Flowers of Darkness.
In virtually any of the hot countries of the world, where the soil is fertile and farmers still employ the oldest methods of cultivation, flourishes a plant scientifically known as Papaver somniferum, more commonly known as the opium poppy. Its pods contain a milky fluid that for centuries provided the raw material for one of the most demoralizing and dissipating vices in the world.
Hold on.
Known as far back as fourth...
Hold on. So if you got poppy seeds, right, and you cut that shit open and collect that milky lactate shit, how do you process it? Would you just dry it and smoke it, and then that's opium? Who was the first nigga to do that?
BC, use of opium historically centered on the Mediterranean. Eventually, Arab and Persian traders introduced the mystic wonders of the poppy to all the communities with whom they bartered. By the 16th century, India was cultivating it. In the 17th century, China discovered the euphoric delights that came from smoking it. Opium dens, set back in sinister alleys, flourished throughout the Far East. Even though millions of Chinese were thrust into moral and physical degradation, the use of opium was actually romanticized in literature by Edgar Allan Poe, Thomas de Quincey, and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, all brilliant writers, and each an opium taker.
So how
Its use had become such a problem in China
how bad
that
is
the
opium?
emperor issued edict after edict forbidding its import. In spite of this, in the 1800s, British and American sea captains bought shiploads of opium at the great auctions in Calcutta and traded them illicitly at Chinese seaports. Then the emperor cracked down. In 1838, in one haul, he confiscated $6 million worth of opium from the British ships at Canton.
The emperor was like, fuck that, y'all ain't gonna get my people all smoked out.
Wars were on. Although she would be censured in the eyes of the world, the war enabled Britain to force a treaty, giving her the greatest port in the Far East, Hong Kong.
What happened? They were crazy with the opium?
As well as unrestricted opium trade for her enterprising sea captains. Then, in the 19th century, a German refinement. Through a relatively simple chemical process, raw opium was transformed into 1898, another refinement from Germany. From morphine base came the derivative, heroin. It took at least 60 centuries to bring poppy's euphoric effects from the cradle of civilization all the way to the opium pipes in Canton. But within only a few decades, modern science was able to funnel the poppy's impact straight into the central nervous system in one cool blast. Today, thousands of prisons and hospitals all over the world are crowded with patients who have experimented with the poppy's final derivative and who have become addicted to it.
That shit fucked the whole world.
Astronomical profits on the street corners of the Ginza in Tokyo, the Piccadilly Circus in London, and the Great White Way in New York have made it the world's #1 illicit commodity. A deck of heroin sold on a metropolitan sidewalk is the final transaction in a long series of closely guarded clandestine operations. Charles Siragusa, former Deputy Commissioner of Narcotics, has first-hand knowledge of all of them.
The illicit narcotic traffic, the route of it is not quite as complex as it would appear. The principal source of the raw material, which is opium. The opium is in process at the morphine base, sometimes in Turkey, other times in Syria and Beirut and Lebanon. The French now have control of the Lebanese market. They've been associated with them in all sorts of illicit international rackets for many years. The Lebanese sell the morphine base to the French. These French Corsicans, who have had the traditional ties with them for many, many years, arranged for the smuggling of the morphine base into France. Marseille is the capital of the Corsican underworld for all of France.
Once in Marseille, converting morphine base into heroin. This is the most difficult phase of the entire industry. Skilled chemists are not easy to find. A Turkish farmer sells 10 kilos of raw opium, or about 22 pounds, for $350 on the black market. Through conversion, it is reduced to 1 kilo of heroin, now worth $3,500.
God damn, bro.
Now they've got to sell the heroin. The ones with the customers in the United States are the mafia hoods, mostly in New York City, Chicago, the West Coast.
Heroin, in its relatively pure form, enters the United States in a variety of ways. The port of New York is by far the most common route and is the main target for Narcotic Bureau investigators working hand in hand with customs inspectors. An estimated 2 tons of pure heroin is annually smuggled into the States, and it's considered a good year when the inspectors manage to intercept 100 pounds of it. Smuggling is a fine art, and the Corsicans are considered to be the finest practitioners in the world. Today, the automobile is a favorite hiding place, and there is hardly a part of the
like the one we watched the other day.
for big shipments. A second major port of entry into the United States is the Mexican border. This is the main entrance for illicit marijuana shipments, but a good supply of heroin slips through as well.
We are in our vault in which all the marijuana and heroin which is seized is stored until the criminal case against the defendants is terminated by federal court action. This contraband is concealed in most ingenious ways in vehicles and on persons. In fact, you can name a place that you feel concealed, and I can cite you an instance where we have found it there. Some months ago, we encountered a young fellow entering the United States from Mexico eating an ice cream cone. A search revealed that he had an ounce of heroin concealed in the ice cream cone.
What the fuck they just say? They say a nigga walked up to the port of entry eating an ice cream cone. It had an ounce of heroin in that motherfucker, bro. You know, this. That's not even trying for real. You're not even trying at that point, bro.
In this area, we also have a number of yachts, some 5,000 private yachts based in this area, all of which have the facility or capability of going to Mexican waters. This poses quite a threat, as do the increasing number of private aircraft crossing the international boundaries.
They was really trying to crack down on it.
Once the heroin reaches its American distributors, it is blended with milk sugar and is cut at least from one arm by the peddler himself.
Yo, he just fucked that all the way up. That shit
Heroin
ain't
strength is now
ain't even.
only 5%.
Yeah, that
normal
shit
for the
whack
retail
right
market.
now.
Each packet or deck will sell for $5. Thus, the original 22 pounds of raw opium, sold by a Turkish farmer for $350, is eventually worth on the sidewalks of Manhattan over $410,000. And in a panic, $500,000.
Yo, I said that last time, bro. The opium farmer was making $300, but by the time
Point of hard drug
that's the
addiction in the
craziest
United
flip
States.
in the world.
The urban ghettos house nearly 3/4 of the hardcore addicts, with New York's teeming slums far out in front.
The traffic starts in Manhattan. It's more readily obtainable in Manhattan, especially in the Harlem area, up around Lexington Avenue, from about 97th to around 135th Street, 116th Street, running east to west completely, 125th Street, and so many other spots. Probably take me all day to name them all.
America's known heroin population of over 60,000 tons of opiates a year. More than half live within the tenement shadows of Harlem and the Bronx.
When I first came to East Harlem in 1948, it was primarily a large Italian and Puerto Rican community. For our part, as far as the kids or the adolescents were concerned, it was constant warfare. There were many, many gangs. And it might be said that gangs were the main problem in East Harlem then. There was much bloodshed.
Why that nigga look like John Legend?
The only thing that united Italians and Puerto Ricans together was the use of drugs.
For the ghetto dweller,
This
heroin
nigga.
is a desperate bid for freedom.
Yeah,
An
those
escape from the
look
despair
like
of
super
tenement
projects, bruh.
After getting married, sort of couldn't meet up with the responsibilities that I had taken on, and sort of felt the need to escape from these. My first marriage, I've been married twice, had only lasted about 4 years, with continuously using drugs. Right after my first marriage broke up, I was immediately married again.
Yeah,
In fact, my first marriage broke up through meeting
like
this
I was
other woman.
thinking that they was probably gonna show some different
I went
footage and
along
shit,
for
but they
about
not.
8 months
Let's
not
slide.
using drugs.
Let's slide back, bro. Slide back. Let's slide back. We basically watched that one. Let's go. What's good, AG? Look at so to watch the shit. That's while you doing that. Let's jump in. Weed man. Where the weed man at? 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 I've been smoking hella blunts, now my bag kinda low. I grab my phone, hit my homie up to let him know I can't get through. I'ma just send a text when my weed low. My anxiety hit, so I'm stressed. Going through my phone to see who I'll hit up next. Hit 3 more numbers, all got disconnects. Call my stoner homie to see if he can help. He can't, I still gotta find some. Where the weed man at? 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 I done raced through a couple ounces. Now my roach pal looking like a mountain. Had more hydro than the fountain. 2 blunts, then I finished counting. Now my bag lower than it's ever been. I'm still trying to find my homie for my medicine. Until then, I can't even
5 weed pushers were still out. When weed blocks was a place to go to. I'm talking about smoking in the old school, where you could hit a block on any side of town. Pull up anytime it was going down. Now you gotta have a connect for the flame. So sometimes picking up weed ain't the same. You need to know a couple people in the game, or you be sitting waiting for the telephone to ring. Where the weed man at? 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 Where the weed man at?
All right. Got a different one on here. This is 1972. Let's see if this one got different footage. This is a different video and shit.
And despair. They can also bring health. The body in many different ways. If bacteria are causing a disease, a doctor uses an antibiotic or some other drug that kills bacteria. It might be the lungs, the heart, helped by some special drug that affects that particular organ. Some drugs work on the nervous system, the complex system that regulates every part of the body. These drugs work in many ways. Ever felt like this? Hot, feverish, achy?
This
Home
shit,
from school.
like, that nigga got the mumps or some shit.
Your mother might have given you a drug, aspirin. Aspirin helps aches and pains, and it also lowers fevers, in part by working on the nervous system. The aspirin tablet is absorbed through the stomach and intestines.
So is this a video about aspirin, bruh?
Within a half an hour, molecules of the drug will reach the cells of the brain. There it will begin to affect that aching feeling that begins in the muscles.
Let's speed this up a little bit.
In the microscopic spaces between the muscle fibers, nerve endings called receptors that pick up muscles. Each receptor sends signals along the nerve fiber into the spinal cord and up into the brain. These electrochemical impulses pass into a lower part of the brain, which controls messages having to do with pain. From here, impulses pass to the higher part of the brain, the cortex, probably where our sick friend forms the idea that his muscles ache. He thinks how uncomfortable he is. Impulses race to the parts of the brain that will move his muscles to change position. The messages go out. Still feel terrible? Well, the aspirin will help any minute now. One of the several effects that aspirin has is pain impulses. Still come in, but as the aspirin begins to work, not as many go out. Our friend just doesn't feel the ache as much.
This can't be
Therefore, by
a
careful use of the
video
drug,
on
he has changed one
Tylenol,
action of the nervous
aspirin
system.
and shit.
Aspirin also works
This
in
shit
another way
says
by making you
anti-drug
flush and making you
scare
sweat,
film.
which helps to lower your fever.
Scaring people on
The aspirin
Tylenol,
works on a
though?
special part of the brain that controls the temperature of the body. This is one of the nerve centers that controls the working of your body's organs without any conscious part at all. When the special brain center begins to be affected by the aspirin, it sends out impulses to the sweat glands, causing them to produce more moisture. The sweat evaporates, it cools the body. At the same time, other impulses cause the surface blood vessels to expand. They then carry more of the overheated blood to the surface of the body where it can cool. Complicated? Very. And there are dozens of other drugs that a doctor can use to change the action of a person's nervous system in dozens of other ways. Only a doctor has the knowledge to know which to use or how much to use. The wrong drug or the wrong amount can be a poison. For instance, if you help your fever, why shouldn't... Listen, don't try it out. Too many little kids have thought sweetened little aspirin tablets were candy and have died. Speaking of poison, what would you do to someone who decided to put a bowl full of strychnine into his system? Impossible? Well, certain materials have fumes that are deadly poison.
Okay, so here
Some
we
people
go.
breathe in chemical fumes for kicks. What a gas, huh?
All right, so now we turning it over. So we about to be getting into the anti-drug shit, and I guess the first thing he's about to talk to us about is huffing. Shit, I haven't even heard about niggas doing since like that had to be 80s, the 80s. The last time I heard anything about huffing glue and shit. Do niggas still do that?
Molecules of poison are carried from the lungs deep into the cells of the brain. Along with the kicks come nausea, headaches, dullness, shaking, and other feelings that aren't so much fun. If you breathe in these fumes for too long, you can easily kill yourself.
What do you call a gluey? I never knew no gluey.
Now, most drugs can be poisonous, but when they are used with a doctor's instructions, they can have real medical value. There are two principal kinds of drugs that affect the nervous system. One is the kind we call a stimulant. Now, this is a drug that stimulates certain brain cells.
So I'm talking about some uppers and the downers.
The other is a depressant. This is a drug that slows impulses.
The speedies and the benzos.
Sleeping pills or barbiturates are the commonest kind of depressant drug, and useful too when they are taken properly. When people take downers for kicks, a small amount sometimes makes them feel relaxed and friendly, mellow, but slowed down. If they take more, the person gets sluggish, gloomy, sometimes wants to start a fight, and then it goes the whole body. Breathing is dangerously slowed down. The heart is very weak.
That's
in a deep, deep sleep. In just one city, about 450 people die each year from barbiturates.
Yo, 70 square.
Later, it's a strange kind of kicks. Now, another kind of depressant, both useful and dangerous, comes from the opium poppy, the various state from opium. The patient is in severe pain. Codeine is another drug which your doctor may have prescribed in a cough medicine. It has a subtle effect on the brain center. Coughing.
That's that activist shit.
The most dangerous drug of all is heroin. A person who starts using heroin gets an intense feeling of pleasure for a while.
Join a growing number of professionals who are advancing their careers with a graduate degree.
No, I'm not joining you.
Then he gets very drowsy and unable to think clearly. Everything gets blurred. He sits doped.
Yeah, I see motherfuckers now go into pause mode.
When the drug wears off, he wants that pleasant feeling again. But he has to keep increasing the dose to get that same high feeling he had when he first tried it.
By the time you done using what, all the heroin on the block?
The real disaster of heroin creeps up quietly. After a while, if he doesn't get the drug, he gets violently sick and may even die. He's an addict now, with a habit that's almost impossible to get rid of. He spends the rest of his life just trying to keep up his supply of heroin, usually by stealing. I mean, if that's the only way he can get enough money to buy it, he does it. And somehow, the saddest part is that soon the drug doesn't even make him feel good anymore. You see, he needs it so he won't feel sick.
Yo, I didn't even know that, bro. Yeah, I didn't know that. Now, I mean, I knew that if you use heroin too much and shit, that shit had your bones and shit hurting. I didn't know that. As long as shit you don't get high, you just using it so you ain't got bone pain and shit. That crazy, bro.
The other principal drugs that work on the nervous system are the stimulants, or uppers, that cause part of the brain to work faster.
That's speed. You talking about them speedos.
Doctors sometimes will prescribe these in small amounts, for instance, to help patients who are terribly tired all the time or depressed. But suppose somebody takes several uppers looking for kicks, just want to have a good time. What might this disturbance in the brain cells do to the body?
He's gonna put him on Forrest
Well, the
Gump
heart often
mode.
beats irregularly. The walls of the blood vessels will tighten, which shoots the blood pressure up. The person becomes jittery and restless. Billions of extra impulses bring confusion.
Uppers is crazy, bro.
The person becomes irritable, tense, anxious. He may fly into a rage.
Yeah, powder is an upper, bro. That shit crazy, bro.
When the effects finally do wear off, he will be terribly tired and usually very depressed. Another drug that affects the nervous system is marijuana. Marijuana changes the senses, the way one sees and feels about the world. Sometimes marijuana makes a person feel lively and excited, laughing. More often it makes him quiet and withdrawn.
No,
See,
you're
distorts the
describing
sense
that
of space
wrong.
and of time. Now, the brain may say that a car is
does not
going this
happen.
fast instead of this fast.
That is not happening. Get out of here. This nigga ain't never smoked enough.
Unlike depressants and stimulants, marijuana doesn't seem to carry the danger of severe damage to the body.
Right.
And it doesn't have heroin's danger of physical addiction.
Right.
But many scientists believe that young people who use marijuana often, regularly, run the danger of becoming dependent, psychologically dependent on it. They lose interest in normal life. They let the world go by.
Let the world go by, just want to smoke.
Then there are the psychedelic drugs, principally LSD.
Those are some shits I don't know about. LSD, all that shit. That's
The brain
not
under the
really...
influence of LSD distorts the senses. Your feelings, smell, sight, and sound. Something may be commonplace, an everyday occurrence. But with LSD, it takes on great significance.
Yeah, psychedelics and
LSD
shit.
can
I
give
ain't
great
really
pleasure, but there are
never
great dangers
fucked with.
involved.
I had some shrooms
One of them
like not
is
too
that it
long ago,
destroys
but
judgment.
I ain't
Some
really
people
ever fucked
believe
with
they can fly.
psychedelics.
Some people feel godlike.
Ain't nobody trying to go psycho.
Not long ago, this happened.
What the fuck? This nigga
Another
just
risk
jumped
is a
in the
bad trip.
fucking road.
An
That's
experience
get
that
out
can
of
be like a
here,
horrifying
bro.
nightmare from which you just can't escape.
I heard about bad trips.
And then particularly, for young people with personal problems, there's a real danger of getting sick, mentally sick. Young people distort their nervous systems with drugs for different reasons. They may want to be part of the in crowd, always be with it, to seem big and unafraid, you know. They may be looking for excitement, for kicks. Some have problems that they just aren't ready to face yet. What do you think these young people are like? Would you guess that they're likely to be strong, responsible, wise, mature for their age? Might some have problems in getting along in the world? What do you think?
I think this nigga needs to shut up. Drugs in the nervous system. Now, we sped that shit up, bro. That shit was only supposed to be 15 minutes. Now, we done crushed that bitch down to what? Like 8? And that shit still was long and drawn the fuck out, bro. That, if you had to watch that in school, you would have been asleep. I would have been back row snoring like a motherfucker, bro. Yeah, that shit was been a boring ass video day. Yeah, we about to slide, bro. I'm gonna holler at y'all. We just wrote another joint for what was that? 77. So we'll get that recorded and shit and probably listen to that on Thursday. I'm gonna holler at y'all, bro. With that, to Mario Mount. Bear Club. Flat.